Woohoo! Hey, welcome guys to another Hot Take Tuesday live on a Wednesday. We are going live at 4 p.m. for my guests, all the way from the UK. Just waiting for them to get on. Oh, I see you, Danny. Hey, just request to join. The little camera button thing. You request to join, so have you pop on. Hey, lovely, I see you. How's it going? I'm a lovely peoples. And let me make sure.
That's better now. It's connected now, I think.
Yes.
Uh,
Can you hear me okay?
yeah, I can hear you absolutely fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I don't need these then. All right. How's it going?
Good. I mean, bad. You made me watch this film again.
You mean you made me watch this film again?
True, 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 true.
It was mutual. It was mutual.
For you, it's mutual on the film. For me, it ain't. After
Oh
this live,
man,
I'll probably get attacked.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I will protect you. All right. So welcome to Hot Take Tuesday Live on a Wednesday. Um, Danny, if you would love to, introduce yourself, let everybody know what you're about, what you're up. Oh, Luke.
Oh, no,
Hey.
look, I was waiting for Luke. It was begging to see my face for once. That's why.
Ah. So,
But yeah, my name is Danny Hayward. Mainly what I do is films, I think everyone knows me. Film career wise, like film studies, I do a lot, school wise and stuff like that. But I just love films. I even say this to everyone. Everyone's got their own opinion. It could be anything. We all ain't got to agree on the same thing. Trust me, I know some people don't like my movies, and I think, funny enough, we don't agree on the same screen as ratings. We don't. We ain't got the same like in order. But I'm cool with that. Everyone's got their own take, as I that. But I mean, there's only one film that I can't fight on. There's another film I won't say there because that'd be worse.
really?
It's Artemis Fowl. If you want to get me on live on that one, Jesus, I'll be here for 4 hours just
Oh
hating on
my
it.
gosh. Listen. I knew enough to stay away from that one.
Yeah.
I was
Oh yeah.
smart. I knew
Trust,
enough
trust,
to stay
trust me.
away.
I read the PR market on it. It was this is going to be the next best thing since Harry Potter. that was the
Oh,
that was Disney's whole campaign. That was their whole campaign saying that it's going to be the best. I've read the books as well, and not only they don't follow the books, they actually disrespectful to the books. That's why I'm full edged on that
that's what
film.
I heard. That's
Yeah,
what I heard.
I'm alright.
Oh
Yeah, I'm annoyed when
man.
they don't follow the books. But what's more worse is when they actually tarnish the book because it is taking it
Mm.
a step further. But that's another film. I'll leave that film alone.
All righty. I see people in the chat. Danny, oi, oi. I didn't say it correctly.
All my friends are just joining now. Boom! All my followers are joining. I know he's all for it, and I've invited some of them.
All right, perfect. For those joining in, we are going to be talking about the Hunger Games, the new one, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes,
Hmm.
which I feel like top three movie of all time for you, Danny. Is that what you were telling me offline?
It's in the top three, but worse. I can't. I just don't. Put it this way. Do you know how much I hate this film? How bad it for me is.
How much?
I've got a whole paper sheet printed out for this.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun.
I came
Okay.
prepared. That's how much I hate this film.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's dive in. I normally I ask
Mm,
how you felt about the film, but
mm.
I think I know how you feel already.
Well, yeah.
Remind me, what score did you give it?
All right, well, I give the overall because I don't know some people everyone has their different rating
Yeah.
scale system, which is so annoying. Like you don't know. So some people like when I say low rating, they can think of something different, how they rate their own movies. Everyone has their own scale. Or
Yeah.
because I do film studies, I break it. I think you do stuff in the background. You understand film stuff,
Yeah.
like production design, cinematography. So I know more in depth stuff. But basically, I do give two good aspects about the film, and that I will say that, and that is the production design and the cinematography in this film, and that's why it got a 2 out of 10 for me. It's still low, but it's a 2 out of 10. But it's just on them two aspects that I actually liked. I actually think this cinematography in this film was the best camera movement out of all the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Especially the arena bit. When they get into the arena, the camera movement I think is the best in all Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, that was that was some good work. That was some good
Especially
work.
when he was using the weapons and they're all switching to other characters on the movement. I thought it was the best out of all of them, to be fair. So it has got some props, as I say on that. And the hated stuff, well, that's the rest of it.
Well, for those that don't know, I'm Lisa. My name is Lisa, and NXG Global Productions and Real Movie Lovers are both of my brands.
Hmm.
I write, I produce, I film, I talk about film, and I love and doing these lives
Hmm.
with other people who enjoy film. So at any stage, and we just have a discussion. So I did not score it as low as you did. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Um, I found a lot to like. The things I didn't like, they were so glaring that I
Mm.
couldn't score it higher than a 6. Um,
I saw stuff I couldn't score it after the two.
oh man,
Especially for a blockbuster movie, for me, that's what does it as well because it's got to
yeah,
be a blockbuster. And then, to me, my problem is also is with well, as I said in my review, as I said before, I think you even said it on the tape story, and I agree with that point. Is they should have made it two films,
yeah,
100%. The exact same thing where I reversed my thing on the Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. I think that should have
yes,
been one film. I think that should have been one film only. Where this one, I think they should do two films.
it,
But
it was. It was mind-boggling to
mm,
me. Well, hold on. First, Lovely says, and guys, feel free to drop comments and questions. We'll address this as well. She says, I
mhm,
would give it a 6 out of 10. There was a certain actress that ruined it for me, and I felt the movie needed to be split into two.
mm.
Oh, that's funny. I said 6 to 10 prior to hear your rating. Yes, we're on the same accord. So,
Just
uh,
me.
yes, absolutely. Like I can't believe it didn't split into two movies. Like they're so quick to do that. Even with the Divergent series that they never finished, they were doing that.
Yeah,
And
I'm
Harry
annoyed they
Potter,
didn't finish that series. I'm
like,
annoyed they didn't finish that series though.
it was so bad. They're like, you know what? We'll just end it here. Like,
Yeah,
like all the times where they didn't have to do it into two, they
yeah, they
just,
did it.
they just,
Yeah.
and then
But
here,
yeah, my biggest problem is, well, I've got many problems, but the dialogue for me was a big problem. And I know everyone said it does follow the book, and I've not read the book, so a lot said did say it, so I have to respect that. Yeah, but that don't mean I want to read the book. That's how much. That's just basically from my point of view, because after dialogue to me, well, I didn't like. Oh, there's so much stuff I didn't like. Well, put it this way: pacing, plot, story, acting, and characters all was zero. That's how much. That's how harsh I
oh,
am.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I actually like who they picked to play Snow. I liked his portrayal. I thought
Okay.
Viola Davis did an excellent job. I thought Peter
Okay.
Dinklage, excellent job.
Uh,
I think strong,
I
strong,
think
strong.
it was. I think he was the best acting out of all of them. To be fair,
Mm.
and
Peter,
I actually think he had the best dialogue,
yes.
where he says it two. He has it two lines. I'm trying. I can't remember like time wise in the movie, but he says it two lines. He used metaphors when he says snow is falling and snow is landing. Something like between them lines. And the annoying thing is they should have ended it there as well. Oh my
Literally,
god.
literally, that's what I said. We're so into. I'm like,
Yeah.
that was a perfect. That was perfect,
It was
right
more
there.
dramatic ending than what they gave me. I started. See, I didn't like they split it in. They didn't. They split it. They did one movie and they split it in three parts. I just thought that was hilarious as well. That they broke it down in three parts. But then I thought, are they being kind? So I got 3 days, 1 day to watch each part because I didn't like any of the
Yeah,
parts. So I was like, I'll give me a breakdown. But to me, with my big, I've got something as I said. But my problem is the story. Like I just found it incredibly dull. To me, my problem is on the Hunger Games, on the first two, the build up to the arena was interesting. The characters were interesting. It hooked you. It was intriguing. It was thought provoking. You understand the themes of what they've lived through and stuff like that. and then you build a relationship, you build emotional. Jennifer Lawrence brought more emotional to her character than I think Rachel, I think her name was in real life. Then Lucy. Don't let me start on Lucy. Don't let me
All
start
right,
on
let me
Lucy.
say. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Rachel Ziegler, Ziegler. I want to be
Ziegler.
respectful.
I think yeah, Ziegler. Yeah.
Ziegler. Her character, not her as a person. Her
Yeah.
character, everything about her character is
Mm.
why it got knocked down 3 points.
Okay.
And then the extra point was them turning it into one movie instead of two.
Okay.
Like she's the bulk of what bothered me about
Mm.
this movie. She's the bulk of it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so and let me tell you, look, okay, so first with the book, I've heard the book isn't as good as the other ones. I'm like, well, that makes sense because the movie's kind of like not the
Mm.
same. So and secondly, you were talking about pacing, and there was a couple times that like really like gritted my nerves.
Mm.
When her character, hold on, Lucy Gray,
Yeah,
when her
that's it.
character Lucy Gray was, I guess, like hit or whatever on stage because she had done, they smacked her and she went out like that. Like there was not enough time that they should have like let us sit in it a little bit
My
before she
my
had to
thing,
start singing
yeah,
in it.
my thing,
Okay.
I called it, as I said, I'm a harsher than you. I called it forceful acting. It was forceful. To me, it was too forceful on everyone. I weren't captured. Basically, Jennifer Lawrence made Hunger Games. I always say on every Hunger Games, and everyone thinks I speak. But literally, she was a brilliant actress for it. She embodied the role so much as a character, and it brought interest into her role and to the character, and you're intrigued by it. Her, I was not intrigued by it, and I knew they did nostalgia at the beginning. I don't know if you can say about spoilers, can't you, Arnie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so like when she does like in the beginning, as soon as she goes up and does the bow, I was like, that's copying of the Jennifer Lawrence, bow. I was waiting for nostalgia into it. But I take it it's a musical in the book as well, like some things, but I hated the
Oh,
songs.
okay. But before we even get into that, hold
Yeah.
on. So Lovely says, agreed. I only just cared about Snow. The rest of the characters were lackluster, so she agrees. Luke says, I do not like Rachel
Yeah.
Ziegler. I can't
It's
wait
Snow
to
White.
roast
It's
her
because of
Snow
Snow
White
White,
film
100%.
next
Yeah.
year.
I know, I was waiting for him to do Snow White. I was waiting for it.
So, um, all right. I counted the amount of time on my second watch. I
Mm.
counted the amount of times that she sings in this film,
Oh, okay.
and I could every single time I couldn't stop myself from rolling my eyes. I literally there was only 2 times where I was like, okay, you know what, it was okay here.
Yeah.
But let's see,
Yeah.
I did a tally. I literally did a tally. It was 8 times. It was 8 times. 8 times she's singing in this film. 8 times, and
Mm.
honestly, it only needed to be two.
Yeah,
It,
it didn't add
it
anything to the scenes. That's
didn't
my
add
problem.
anything.
It didn't add
Okay,
anything to the scenes.
I understand if I have again. We haven't read the book. You and I.
Yeah, I
We
know.
did not read this book. I read the other books. I didn't read this one.
I as
Right.
well. I've read the other books as
Right.
well.
And I didn't know that she had written another book. The person had written another book until the movie came
Okay,
out. I was like, oh,
okay.
and I thought, oh, I'll get around to reading the book. And I watched the movie. I was like, maybe I won't. But I guess Lucy Gray, maybe in the book, is
Mm.
Southern, has Southern
Oh,
accent.
that's my biggest problem. I hated the Southern
Oh my
accents. To me, none
gosh.
of them can do it. I was so annoyed with that Southern accent. To me, it was false acting. I didn't like any of her acting. I thought it was overdone, overshadowly done.
Yes, I didn't
It was
like
just,
any of it.
I didn't like any of the
Even
acting.
even her wardrobe. Even her wardrobe. So she's supposed to be from the poorest district. I understand. I understand
Mm.
the dress, the gypsy mom, and everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Because the country singing, like singing wise, yeah.
but it was too untouched. It was too
Mm.
beautiful for what she was. It
Yeah.
didn't make sense.
That's yeah. It's like Hunger Games. As soon as you start the first film, Jennifer Lawrence, you see like what she's wearing and then what she's going through straight away in like the first 10 minutes, which matches the same as the book, and then and it carries on. They pour like when they get on the train for a particular before going towards the capital. You see like the camera, brilliant shots as well in the first one. You see like they're looking around, her acting, face expression is showing you, oh, what's this rich stuff? What's this sterling silver? Because she's not used to it because she's poor, which she shouldn't be used to it. Her, it didn't mean nothing. She didn't even know who cared.
Nothing. And then she
Like her
had
accent,
all
she
this
didn't care.
she has all this spunk, all this mouth. And I'm not saying that you can't be like, like you said, like strong and resilient, especially
Mm.
being a gypsy. But
Yeah.
it just felt like, from what I understand from that world and the books, like you would have gotten knocked down a couple pegs
Yeah.
being that out there. Like, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like there are more subtle ways to come across as
Mm.
I'm still resilient. You're not gonna break me without it being like you
Yeah,
said, like it was just
basically, it's the same problem with the whole movie to me as well. On the story, that's why I hate the story. Was the story arc, because that the same as the character, the character development in this film is just so bad. I've never seen it. Like that's why I knock it down more as well. With the story they put as well. I just can't believe. I just couldn't believe how they done this so much. I just couldn't believe how bad. I just couldn't believe how bad it was. Like I just can't believe. Like because as you know, writing wise, you start with story expos and then you build the characters before climax. Then you go down right, and every hero acts as a struggle. What was the struggle?
thank you,
cheated,
thank you.
cheated. He helped her in the arena. Basically, she could have died about 3 times in that arena, I think, or two
Yeah.
times. I know for sure. She could have died, and they just stopped and went, "Oh, look, snakes. Let's watch that for a second." And I was like, okay, there was even Hunger Games 1. I had some problems with the arena where Jennifer Lawrence could have done it, but they had it. It was still more
Yes.
realistic. This one was just completely like no, and it wasn't a big landscape. I thought it'd be more bigger. I thought it'd be more. I was hoping more. It was actually just. It was a really quick arena, and then the worst part, like it gets worse each part. That's my problem as well. Part three ain't even Hunger Games. I don't know what it was. It was a new movie. I don't know what. I just, yeah. I don't, well, part three, I'll call it wannabe Jennifer Lawrence and Eminem because he went blunt, didn't he? He goes, I know you're like
He did look like Eminem.
that. I know. I was watching the whole time. I was thinking, I wouldn't mind Eminem playing this character worst game. But I didn't. See, Snow, I didn't mind it. I still thought he was full accident. But if I had to compare it, he was better than her, easily, without a doubt. But to be fair, my favourite character is the host. I thought it was cool bringing back and seeing him as a younger time. You know, when it brought
Yes.
him back.
What,
Jason, his name. What's it?
Jason
Lutrius. I can't pronounce his name.
Zuzeki. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's the one
Sorry.
who does the hosting
Yeah,
of the Hunger Games,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
see him how he started his career,
He
and then he's doing a trick.
he really nailed him.
Yeah, I
His
liked his character
mannerisms,
the most if I had
he
to rate
nailed him
it.
nice.
Mm.
Lovely says the way she moves her mouth while she acts so overdone. Oh my gosh. So okay, I think to come back to you, the I don't disagree, Lovely. But the way that they kind of stuff I get it. It's one book, but this was the time you needed at least two movies
Mm.
to watch his villain, like, you know what I mean, like his villain.
When it ended, to me, it felt like it started. That's the thing. To me, I ain't gonna say the Marvel take. I got another take on Doom Part One. They kill me on that. It always, to me, his whole story arc is rushed in a slow-paced, dull movie, which is crazy to me because you've gone so slow with the whole film. To me, it displays it, and you rushed the story arc, and we're watching it because the reason why we want to watch this movie is because how he became Snow.
Yes.
Yet we still ain't even learned how much he became Snow. All we know is a dickhead to his friend. That's about it.
Yeah.
We know he's a villain. We already know that. We want to see more
Yeah.
adult. I thought it would do more of his. To me, it could. I thought they could have cut so much of the movie. I thought it was going to expand more, like growing up, up and up and up, like something
Yeah.
like that. But I just his whole story arc is just
Like
rusted,
even like
rusted for
even
me.
even with him in school, I
Mm,
feel like, and again, I not reading the book, but I
mm,
feel like because you are looking at a screen, you have to make allocations when you change the media.
yeah,
So I think it would have benefited the film by showing more glimpses of like spitefulness and maliciousness here and there, even if it was like in school projects and how he
yeah,
handled certain classmates, just like little things. So we already know he had a rough life, very beginning,
mm,
and the poor, and like we know that his father was kind of like already like
yeah,
evil.
yeah,
So the seed is there, but
mm,
how did it flourish? How did it
yeah,
grow? How
mm.
did it, you know what I mean? And like
This
even when
film they didn't water it.
it
They let it die.
just I feel like they should have cut most of Rachel.
Part three, part
Lucy
two,
Gray.
part one.
Lucy Gray. They need to cut most of Lucy Gray. We could have cut a lot of her stuff and kind of spent more time watching his
Mm.
like you know rise as a
It
villain,
was her
like the thing.
movie. I keep saying it was her movie more than Snow. It was her movie more. It felt
Yeah,
like if you watched it,
yeah,
it felt like it was her
yeah,
about her singing, get a guitar. I, can't-
yeah.
I was like, oh, I just couldn't believe it. But to me, the part three, the other thing is the chemistry was not there between them
Oh,
two.
oh my God.
It was awkward. I was like, you want chemistry? Even Jennifer Lawrence and Peter, that chemistry was decent. It wasn't wow to me. I don't think it was
Right,
wow
right.
chemistry.
That chemistry was
But
better than yeah.
but it was slowed down in the story, so it weren't rushed, so it build which relationships they build. So I was alright with that. It worked over the time. This one, it just felt awkward. Like I want the chemistry. If you want a top chemistry, the Mummy, that chemistry, Rachel and Finney, them that's the chemistry you want. That's the top chemistry. That is to
Mhm,
me. But
mhm.
there was just nothing. And then also, as I said, Ali become a villain. It was just nothing. But part three it was a completely different film to me, and I just couldn't believe part three. Like, and the thing is, before that, I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think he says the line, the incredible line. Peter, he says the snow's falling, something like that. He says it,
Yeah.
and then they could have cut it there. Then they cut it there, and then it comes up part three. I was like, wait, what? I was like, there's more of this. I was like, no.
Listen, listen, listen.
Every Hunger Games, they don't have a part. Every Hunger Games, it's the build up, then arena in the first two, literally is. And of course, the third and fourth one won't be there because the arena's over with. So that's fine. But this was build up. This was a build up to arena, then to a extra on trying to do more background of him, but it just don't completely work. And that's when I say, as he says, I say, wanna be Jennifer Lawrence. I call her.
Let me tell you, if they can pull three movies from the Hobbit book, which I read, by the way, love
Yeah.
that book. If they can pull
Okay.
three movies from
Yeah.
that, they could have pulled three movies from this. Like, it easily,
And the thing is, they
easily.
can't moan about money because that's the reason why they did part three and part four as two parts because of money. They want to make the most money. That's the
Yeah.
reason why they didn't make that one part. 100% was the only reason because it was money grabbing, cash grab. But that's the big reason. But that's why I was shocked they didn't do it for this one. But what's really funny is it's the same director. That's what I love about it all. It's the same director, all of them.
Oh
That's
my
what I think is
gosh.
hilarious.
Well, you
Yeah, I
know what?
know.
You know what? I won't say much because the thing that I understand is sometimes studio has more of a say. I mean, not
Oh
sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
Studios
yeah,
sometimes they save a movie and sometimes they
mm,
bomb a movie. So
yeah,
studio notes they're hit and miss, you know.
mm,
And when the studio gives you a note, it's not really a suggestion.
yeah, yeah.
Lovely says I would have loved watching his come up through the Capitol. Exactly, like
Yeah.
we could have had movie one was the first, I guess the first major like act into the second act where again
Yeah,
Peter
yeah,
Dinklage ending it, finally the snow is falling or whatever.
yeah.
Boom, done. Movie one
Done.
done. Great.
Next
Boom.
movie now.
Next
Oh, I can't
movie.
wait to find out
Next
how what's he
movie.
gonna
He's
happen with
in
him.
this. Yes, next movie. He's in the district, and we
Yeah,
see further and further, like how it's set and things happening, and how he is becoming less and less. What's the word? Numb to the
yeah,
people
yeah.
and the plight of the people, and we watch that more and more and more.
Also, CA takes over the games as well because, as you see in this film, it's the woman doing it.
Right.
She was really good. I thought she was actually good, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Ballad,
Viola, I
she
thought.
was.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I thought she was really good in it. I thought she was the only one who could
Yeah,
act with.
Dr.
If I had the best time.
Gold, Dr.
Yeah,
Gold. And but
yeah,
that could have been the end of the second movie. Dr. Gold
mm,
saying, you passed my test.
yeah,
Come let me show you.
yeah,
And then the third movie could have been him in the Capitol, him learning from
yeah.
from
Taking
the
control.
and taking
Yeah.
control. Like, oh my, you had it. You had another franchise on your hand. You had it. The one time that we were all on board, we
Now I
could have
don't want
one
the franchise.
one time.
I don't want it now.
Oh my God. Well, no, they ruined. They messed it
Yeah,
up.
they've killed it. Well, it's the same thing with to me. It's the same thing as I said with part one, Mockingjay. Right? To me, it was the setup for part two. Like the same thing, definitely
Yeah.
happens. Part one was part two for Harry Potter. It was the build. Part one was good to me on Harry Potter, but it was the setup for part two to make it amazing more, to make it more dramatic.
Yeah.
that's what I feel. That's what he could have done with this one as well, but he didn't. Because they could have just had the standalone film get mixed reviews, as I think it did as well. I know Rotten Tomatoes liked it more, but they like anything these days. But
Oh, I don't
I
go
hate.
off Rotten Tomatoes. They are
Uh,
unreliable.
well, people don't understand their grade system. Like, if the critics give it a 6, it gets a tomato, and if it don't, you just go 0. So people think when you see a film like 98%, oh, they must have given it 10s. It don't mean that. It just means it's a 6. And people don't understand the grade system. That's why people think, oh, critics are overacting. Why is this a 10 like 10 out of 10? It ain't. It just people think it's 6 out of 10, and it's just an okay film.
Yeah.
But that's what it's misinformation. See, in the world, that's what they do. Metric's the main one, but yeah, I only read stuff. But I always judge. I always judge. I never read a review. I go in before reading a review because you judge your own point of opinion and view. Because people could just change their mind and stuff like that.
So, what was I gonna say? One more negative. I'm gonna say one more negative thing, and then I'll highlight some positive things about the movie.
I think
Um,
it's just all negative.
so
You could just say the negative to me.
when so when they had all the tributes and they were in the zoo totally and all, like
Yeah,
every
yeah,
one of them looks like they come, from poor background, from the just like they're they're just kind of worn out. And here is Lucy Gray, all like glowing and hair
yeah.
put together,
Makeup done.
clothes,
Yeah.
makeup, everything. And I was just like, yo,
It's unrealistic.
it's unrealistic.
And that does, even though I did like the overall production design, which was a good point, but that is on production design as well, because it's just costume design on production design. But it's just unrealistic because you wouldn't have that at that time as well. And then also in the dialogue, you're saying that it's hard times and stuff like that. You're even going more onwards towards it, so it just wouldn't happen. So yeah, to me it was a bit dumb, but I didn't mind what Snow was wearing. I thought that was good. To me, as I said, production as well. I thought the sets were really good. I thought the
Yeah.
sets, the
Oh
surroundings,
no,
bring us
it was
back to the
no, it
pandemic.
was
I thought that was the best aspect.
It was good. Lovely says her mother's dress looked brand new. That again, and it was a hand-me-down dress. Okay, all right, all right. So, let me talk about some of the positive things within this movie. At one point, I can't remember who, because actually they were kind of referring to they're referring to like the tributes as like savages, and
Mm,
like talking like they're not even human and everything, again behind a zoo.
mm,
um and what I like about that was that basically you're calling these people savages, but producing the conditions in which they
yeah.
would. So, it's kind of like that.
It displayed the theme well for
Yeah.
the character Zoo to show the perspective of other sides. That's basically
Yes.
what it was good. I didn't mind. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because it used the themes you're going the rich people going to see the poor people at the zoo captured pretty much like
Yeah.
in different perspective, which was good.
Yeah.
They used metaphors really good in this film. They
Yeah.
used symbolics in this film on the theme. They actually do stuff with it. But yeah, they do display it on many aspects. Like I said in the dialogue of Snow, when metaphor Snowy's name
hmm
and stuff like that. So they do use it throughout the film. They do.
And I I liked that. I liked that the students who I guess were over, like they were all assigned their own tribute. Um, I liked seeing them. It hit them hard when they watched one of the tributes die, and it didn't feel like they were upset that they lost. They were upset at the death,
Mm,
like the death
mm,
bothered them.
mm.
Um, which I feel like makes sense later on, you know, in the Hunger Games, why now these tributes are not connected to students anymore.
Yeah,
They're, what they do is they force the previous winners of that
yeah.
district to
To be
guide them.
mentors. Yeah, yeah,
So
mentors. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, which tells me that it probably got to be too much for the students.
Mm, mm.
It, it, it,
Personal.
it was it was too much. Yeah, it was too much. Like
Mm,
they're not complete, cold-hearted people. I
yeah,
mean, they are of advantage. Some of them are,
yeah.
classist and everything, but they do have, most of them have hearts. It
Mm.
affects them. And when something's happening over there, it's over there. When it is brought to you in your face and you have to deal with it, it
Yeah,
changes everything. And I really love that they dived into that.
yeah,
And I could see how, they made that change over time, because I think some of those students were traumatized, moving forward, and they realized, okay, we don't actually want to mess up the heads of our brightest and bravest, whatever.
yeah. The next generation, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they actually do it, and they actually do display that on themes as well. They actually displayed it in one scene, is when they all the when he was doing the tributes, when they're watching the Hunger Games, and they all shouted out "Let her go." They all joined in the rally to let her go.
Yeah.
So it shows you they're already invested
Yes.
on that scene. Because
Yes.
they all join let her go, and that's when the Viola, she Doctor one, she let her go in the end to win the games. But he had the thing is he did have some split personality, because you see him switches and stuff. But it's just that we know this though. That's the only thing. That's the only thing in this film. But I have got one bad take on the tributes. I didn't think they showed them like any like you see tributes, but you don't see anything like training wise. Like you don't see him working with the tributes, like learning from them. That was my only
But,
problem as well. Like
but
you
I
don't see
think
him
that
actually
came
like
later.
working.
I think that came later, because I think that
Mm,
was part of it. Like, that's part of making sure the games were successful. Especially if you go back and watch the first, and they're like, making sure you look good, make sure you eat good, make sure you're
mm,
dressed good, make sure you're presented in a
yeah.
way, to kind of like, uh, make the entertainment value.
Mm,
So remember, the games have only been going on for like, I think 10 years. This was the 10th annual one.
yeah.
So they were very like fresh and new. And Viola Davis, Dr. Gold, she's one,
Mm.
she's the game master, as you would say. She doesn't strike me as someone who's worried about their well-being.
Oh no.
So she was just like, yeah, pop them in there, because it
Yeah.
was Snow that came up with certain suggestions that kind of like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna, like,
He expanded it pretty much.
yes, yes, yes. Because as you can see from the water drones, they weren't even sending them supplies in the game.
Yeah. I mean, they're sending them, but a bit fast.
Well, yeah, no, no, but what I'm saying is, like, I think this was the first games where they were sending the water.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's one of the suggestions, because
That's why they had the mistakes with the drones. It was too
yes,
fast, and
they
that's
were
when they
so,
said,
yeah,
"So in the dialogue,
yeah,
we've got to fix that for next game. If we got to try and
yes.
fix them,
And
because
and
it's
and
all
then when you see,
it's
and
test
then
and
when you
error."
watch Hunger Games, and you see how well it evolved.
Mm,
Doot,
yeah.
doot. Um, let's see, Journey. Oh yeah, I just. Oh, another one. Okay, so I like when another like little nugget of message in there that I like they did was when the redhead, who was like ruthless. That girl was cold
She was the main one.
hearted. Oh my
She was the main.
God.
But she was cold-hearted up until the end of death, when she was facing
Yes.
death.
Okay, and her last line, that hit for me. I
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean, like her last line when the snakes, if she goes, no, I couldn't have killed them all for nothing.
yeah,
Which, right
mm,
in that moment, you realize that she was acknowledging, like, metaphorically, I sold my soul to try to
mm.
survive, but it was all for nothing, because here I am dying
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, well, they're all just trying to do it just to win, no matter what, basically.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
thing is, the same thing as Snow's doing. He's doing no matter what to get what he
yeah.
wants, which is money for his family, the tribute, the paying thing. But yeah, he did the exact same thing, and so they're all just doing it their own ways. But there is one thing I did like in the arena, is where you see where you always get blood on your hands, pretty much metaphor. With funny enough, with Rachel, as you know, he gave I
Mm,
don't know what drugs he gave her. I can't remember what drugs they're called, but he gave her drugs, and then she put it in the water, and she was like, "I don't." Basically, you knew she didn't want to kill anyone, but then someone else took that, so she's killed someone there. But the water was not meant for that
yeah,
girl; it was meant for the ginger one. But so she's got blood on her hands now, technically,
yeah.
because she's
It
killed
was
someone.
it was rat poison.
Oh, is it?
um, which which came from his house, because that was one thing. And I remember reading the books. Like, poison was his method of
Oh,
choice to remove
okay, yeah,
his enemies. Um, so I did like how they kind of had the seed there
yeah, yeah,
here of where it started from, of like where he got it from, like, was so reliant for him. And then, I like you said, I like how, you don't leave without blood on your
yeah.
hands in the game. Like, you
Mm.
just can't. And again, like, of course they're acting like savages. You're forcing them to, like, survive. They have to kill to
Yeah.
survive. Lovely says, sorry, back to negative. I don't think Danny will be sorry. When
Yeah.
Snow and Lucy went to the cabin and he finds the gun, I felt like Lucy was so obvious that she was trying to get away. I feel like how observant and smart Snow is. I guess she was continuing. I feel like he would have rushed at her. Yes, I
Mm.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Like it was
The thing is, he just goes. I think he does. I think he does clip her with the gun bullet. I think he does. And then she drops his mother's. I think something for his mother. I don't know if it's. I can't remember. It's a scarf. I don't know if she drops something of his
yeah.
mother. And then that's when she does the singing again for the Mockingbirds. And then we don't know about her after that. Um, but that was the whole part. That was a completely different film for me. So I'm already negative on that part because to me there was so many cuts on editing. I just don't know, it just didn't flow well. It didn't add anything. I just don't know why like after the games, you could have just gone to that. You could have just done, as I said, that two lines as I said before with him, and could have cut there, or you could have literally just done that, and he walked up to the Capitol like he did at the end, and cut there with the music building, and then just cut there if you wanted, instead of adding that part. But I think it was trying to show them two run away, but it was just a completely different mood. The whole tone, it just shifted for me. As soon as it
Yeah.
just went
Yeah.
worse with it.
It just it would have been such. I strongly believe, Danny, that you would have enjoyed this so much more if they had split it up into three or at a minimum
So
two movies
yeah.
because
Mm.
they would have taken their time.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they're having
You've
to
got more
rush
time to
to get to this
display
point.
it.
You have so much time to like show
Mm.
this and you know find more creative, interesting ways to like make things happen. Like uh, what's what is it called? Oh, dang it! What's that Stephen King um short story? The
Uh,
not the fog. What is it? Dang
the
it! Dang it! The mist.
miss,
The
the
mist.
miss, yeah, miss,
Okay,
yeah.
so the mist is a great example of what I mean. Like sometimes you have to deviate a little bit from the writing because you are now putting it in a visual form. You have to show it differently. You want to make a bigger impact. So in the mist, spoiler alert for those. I'll say it gently. Basically, he and the other five survivors, one including his son, they're out in the middle of the road and they ran out of gas and the monsters are all around. They're just like, I would rather not be eaten. I want to
Yeah.
die as myself. So there was six of them, only five bullets. So he made the sacrifice of being the survivor.
Mm.
So which means he ended, you know, he killed his own son because they wouldn't be eat my monsters. He gets out of the car and the monsters are gone. It's the military that we've taken control. And
Mm.
the one lady who he refused to help in the beginning, she was on top of that thing with her son, I think, driving. And it just, ooh, that hit so hard. And
Mm.
Stephen King, that wasn't how he ended it wasn't how he ended the story at all. He didn't end it that way, but he said he wished he had. It was so good,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's what
thought
you do. Like,
provoking.
yes,
That's what you
you want to be
want.
respectful to the books. You want to make sure you are
Mm.
honoring the books, but it's okay to make little snippets here and
Yeah,
there
I agree
for
with that because your
visuals.
movies you got to make some things more dramatic. To me, which I like, fair enough, is with Harry Potter in the book on part one, Deathly Hallows. I think Hermione when she I think it's part one, or is it part? It might be the beginning of part two. I can't remember. It might be part one or part two. At the beginning, I think it's part one. At the beginning, when she does a spell to erase her memory from her parents' mind, and in the
Yeah,
book, she just erase. She does a spell. I don't know what the spell is called, but it was just like for a short time. Like she comes back later after like what happens all, and then gives the memory back. But in the movie, they use a spell where it wipes for good,
yeah,
so it's permanent. And to me, that adds more to the scene because
yeah,
that's dramatic more, and that's
yeah,
what you can do in books. Because you ain't
yeah,
got to like 100% do line for line in a book
yeah,
because it'd be very
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Also, budgeting as well on the movie depends how much because it goes up, it costs you.
Lovely says, okay. Lovely says, and did Lucy actually get away? Would Snow not have fought tooth and nail to find her, especially as he rose to power? Maybe it's explained in the book I've never read.
I mean, he probably would. I mean, he was sort of like love with her, but as I said, the chemistry didn't work for me. But I would surmise he would find. I'm just saying, in the movie, we were just left to unknown that she is alive or not because she did. She was. I take it she was bleeding with the shot
Yeah,
wound, but she could still be alive. But A close might be nice still after a shot one.
So I and, and even okay, yeah, yeah. I'm so
The whole
sorry.
problem with you, the whole problem with you is about a dress.
Oh my gosh, just
I love
okay.
that. My problems with like eight things of the whole dramatic of the whole
Like
film aspect.
I'm trying to like pull out all the positive things, right? And
Yeah.
then between you and Lovely, y'all keep pulling me back into the negative.
Well, the thing is, Lovely gives it 6. That's what I love about it. I'm the only one here, is the lowest one here. Like, I give anything low. But I just say it is to me. To me, I can't hide behind the flaws. I just can't.
Yeah,
But the thing is, there is still positive in a film. That's why, as I said, that's why it still is rate. Like,
yeah.
because I rate my films like on the, as I said, production design. If as I do it each section, like cinematography, plot and story, acting and
Mm-hmm.
characters, dialogue, I then rate it on my reviews like five. If it's 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 on each one, and then I do an overall score. So if it's over a 5 onwards, I give it a point. But I would
Mm-hmm.
then say how much do I rate it. So for example, I gave the cinematography in this movie 6.5 out of 10, and production 7. Which of course I know it goes with that dress, but to me the surroundings, the world, bringing back to Pandem was it did it brilliantly to me.
Yeah,
It did bring it back to Pandem, and we brought back to the whole world of capitals and stuff like that. And the set was really good. It felt lived in. It tried to help the story, but as I said, to me the storytelling was weak. But that has also affected because it ain't just one part. You've got the characters, and then if I'm not investing into the characters and I don't care, it's just be worse. But to me, if I had to say anything positive, Snow wasn't the worst actor, but I still that was a positive, but it's still a backhanded compliment. But I mean, Peter does stuff all right, but as a blockbuster film, you expect way more. That's another thing for me. It's because we're going expecting more. It's to me, it's the same thing. I don't want to say other movies because I don't want to stay away from it, but it's the same thing with Jurassic World. But I'll probably be the only one you get on live that's that's hatred.
um
Because Jurassic World, oh, don't go start on that.
okay, first of all, I love Jurassic Park.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah,
love
yeah.
I love The Lost World.
Okay,
uh
fair, 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 fair.
you
I
know,
do know a lot. I'm low on that, but I'm not low as this.
Jeff
um,
Jeff Goldblum, he's a big part of why I love The Lost World. You
oh,
know what I
okay,
mean? Jeff Goldblum, he's
okay,
a big part.
yeah,
Like he really helped make that movie. Um,
yeah,
I don't like the third one. Um,
okay.
I
I like the
like
third one a bit more in a second.
oh my god, I
I know.
hated the
I love
third
that.
one.
Look, we're back now.
Oh, okay. Say it. Jurassic World, the first one, I
Yeah.
liked because
Mm.
growing up with Jurassic Park,
Yeah,
what it
it
was
was the
supposed
sequel
to
we've
be,
always wanted. That's
right?
basically
And
what I
then
say.
they show
Yeah.
you this is how it would run if it was run
To me,
if we
that's
get
what I
made it happen. I'm like,
wanted number
oh,
two to
cool,
be.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
everyone after the second and third, they got
Uh,
progressively worse for me, and
yeah.
I was like, but
Well, I called,
that
yeah.
is a different conversation that we can have later. Yes.
Well, I call Jurassic Kingdom the eBay shipment.
Oh my
As a
god.
title, because it's just all about eBay. It's just all about dinosaurs just collecting it and put on auction. But yeah, but Dominion one, oh no, funny enough, this got lower though, but it was still low
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. It
So
was false nostalgia, that movie to me was, which they're all doing right now. Hollywood is though, but yeah, they're all
yeah,
going with this. Everything's nostalgia.
which
Nostalgia can work,
it
but it
can.
can also not work.
Well, here's the
And to
thing,
me,
like
many films have not worked. Like Hocus Pocus 2, you can just the whole list right now for me. For me, it is.
they're
Um,
relying solely on
yeah,
nostalgia. They're not
so it's false.
they're not going out of their way to try to make new fresh stuff for the
No,
next generation.
original is old. Reboots, renew,
Yeah.
everything. Prequel, sequel,
Yeah.
non-prequel, non.
Yeah.
It's just that. But the thing is, it's just as people as they got to understand, it's all about money. That's
Yeah.
literally it, and everything. As I learned in stuff as I'm trying to make my own film, everything requires money. It's just,
Yeah.
that's why, and it's all budgeting. But of course, they've got larger budgeting. But yeah, it's just all that it's focused on.
Well, right now they're right now they're hurting, but again, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
What I will say is his cousin Tigers.
Okay. Yeah.
So I didn't even realize this. I know it's been a while since I watched the other ones. I didn't even realize this. My sister had to remind me that Tigress was the same one in Mockingjay. I think not Mockingjay. Yeah, Mockingjay. I think Mockingjay, where she hid them in the house to get them closer
Okay.
to Snow. So his cousin, that's his cousin, and
Okay, yeah.
she reformed her faith, but that was his cousin. Um,
Okay.
and I liked that subtle arc as well because you see where she's starting to see remnants of his dad's nature within him
Okay, yeah. So
rising.
he's
And then at
building.
the
Yeah, okay.
end, right, when like,
Mm.
he's like, how do I look? And she says, I think you look just like your father, but she did not mean it as a compliment. She like
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
you
look
can
on her
see it
face.
because of the tones
Yeah,
throughout the whole movie. She's supportive of her brother, like she's supportive with him,
yeah,
and you can see it. And then once she knows he's done something because she's nice, pretty much as it's portrayed. And then you can see it's switched straight away. Her tonal vocal shift. It's just changed that she knows like it's a backhanded compliment, pretty much. Of
yeah, yeah,
basically, she understands. I know what you've done to get this
yes,
job. That's
yeah,
basically it. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Like which honestly is another little like
And that's another
slight nod metaphor.
subplot. That's another subplot they could have focused on
They
more.
could have.
To me,
Oh God, there was so much.
it's all about
Annie, there was
Lucy.
so much here.
It's all about Lucy. They could have just called it the Lucy Games or something. It's like I could just rename it. The thing
Yeah.
is, you're going to see a movie about like basically not biograph, but it's about snow. It's all about snow. This movie's supposed to be about snow. Now I know, yes, love interest. Even though, as I said before, the chemistry I don't like, but even that because I know the chemistry didn't work, but it felt off as well. The love story of them two alone, but we still didn't learn as much as we could for the runtime of this overlong film,
Yes.
and that's just another disappointment because you could come out of it and still say, all right, yeah, he's bad. We knew that because of the old Hunger Games. We know he does tricks, games. We know he's going to be the game master. We know he does that stuff. We know Pirate because we already know. We already know Van M because we know it from the. We already know it without watching the film. That's basically the biggest problem. And we want to learn something new about him and how it became. Like we want to know what it's telling us in the synopsis of the plot, basically how he became Snow. Okay, he betrayed his friend, which we see that, but we knew he was bad, which that was fun. But that's just one point. We want more. So they could have
Yeah.
done more films, yeah.
Yeah.
But they
Like
could, to me, because
we know the
yeah,
end. We're here for the journey. How did
yeah,
we?
yeah. That,
You know
that's
what
why
I
I call it.
mean?
That's why I call it. It's a rush story arc for him. It's
Yes.
just rushed. His whole story,
Yes.
because as you know, writing characters, which I do as well, and you have to build them because it's classed as character development. And even in story, you've got explosion, and you build it. You know, Matin. I don't know if you do the same, but you've got Matins to climb as we do it with characters, and
Yeah.
then you've got the build up, the struggle of the hero arc as they do
Yeah.
to make them struggle, so you think they're worthy of their climax, their revelation. So they do that, and then we've got the final climax box. Then you've got the revolution. You know, like the end bit, the
Yeah.
final point. Well, they just went done.
Yeah.
But they did it.
They,
But they did it. My problem is they did it in a slow movie, so it's rushed and slow at the same time, which is hilariously funny to me because yeah, it's been you've gone slow, so it should be okay. It's slow because some movies are slow builds, which I'm fine with
right.
if it brings context to the plot. But this didn't bring anything. The slow was not worthy for what it brought, so it just
No.
makes it slow,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm always lying it. But it was just, I couldn't, I just couldn't believe with the budget they spent and all that. And he's focused on home games majority of his life, and also they're doing another one now, which is hilarious, and it's
What,
about
they're doing another
I
one?
don't know.
I think that my brain. I think that my
You've
brain
gone
like.
retired from this movie. You're retiring.
All right. Okay. You want to know something that like okay. So I did a poll, right?
Hmm.
I think you saw I did a poll.
Oh yeah, I just
Um.
catching fire. That's the best one for me.
Same. Same.
There you go.
Same.
We agree. We agree.
Same. Same. So on Instagram, as of right now,
Hmm.
it Catching Fire I think has the most votes as of right now. We'll see by
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
On YouTube, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes has the most votes, and I was like, why? No.
Delete
I
your
mean,
YouTube.
you can like the movie for sure, but
Yeah.
it's your favorite
I could,
though. All right,
mate.
all right,
If
all
you
right.
compared that to Catching Fire. Even the first Hunger Games, which I gave a 7 out of 10. The second one I gave 8.5 out of 10, the Catching Fire. Mockingjay, I think I gave that a 6, and then the last one a 6.5.
Mm,
So to me, it was dying down
yeah,
then. But my biggest reason was that should have been one movie. That's my
yeah,
biggest reason for that.
yeah.
But I knew why they did it because do it one
Money,
movie, less money. It's all money. That's what
money.
people got to realize. Cinema's money. You learn that in school straight away. Everything is it. We all think about budgeting, all the money. Trust me, I know that. You might probably know that. You understand that as well. But everything's that. But with, of course, their production, they've got it. But yeah, they should have done that as one movie, and then they should have switched what they've done with that to this film, as you agree as well. They should have made it two film, and then they could have done this, and I still probably maybe I might have gone to a 4 or 5 because I know okay, this was a start, and they might have done it differently, how they done it, and
Yeah.
cut it, edited better, and flowed better. They might have gel better, and then I think, oh, okay, next, oh, I can't wait. Next one, we're gonna find out. We're gonna know. Oh, I'm intrigued now. Thought provoking. So you got something. Sorry. So we got something to look forward to, but also it builds from the first film, like if they did multiple ones. But this one they just went cut, 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 race, Russ. It just rushed it, and I can't believe people think that's the best if you compare that to Catching Fire, because Catching
This
Fire
still,
was absolutely
I,
amazing.
I find it like I find it difficult that you could call it your favorite one
Oh yeah, yeah,
and and still have seen the other ones. Unless maybe you
yeah,
are specifically like a Rachel fan
yeah.
or whatever.
I don't
What
know
was
who they are. I never met anyone.
uh,
I don't know. I think
or
Luke might be a fan
Britt
of her.
fan, you know, like
Well,
it just
that's what I get attacked on some of the reviews I've done, and I had tried to explain to many people that I did it for Harry Potter fans. I rate the last movie as the best movie, and my favourite's Goblet Fire, and they attacked me saying, "Why ain't it the last film?" And I was like, because I said, what do you mean? And I said, well, because you rate it higher than Goblet Fire, ain't it better? I said, film aspect wise, better, but it's not my favourite. My favourite is
yes,
Goblet Fire.
yes,
People
exactly.
don't understand is I can rate something so low and it still could be a favourite
Yes,
compared to the others. It's just favourite, and best aspect. Just because it's amazing, don't mean it has to be your favourite movie. You can have a
yeah.
really bad movie and love it. For example, I love Scary Movie 1. And I know that's tasty,
Ah,
but yeah, I love. I don't. I give it. I think I gave it a 2.5 out of 10. But I would watch it constantly,
yes,
and so because I'm grading it by film aspect
yes.
wise, and I won't. It won't pass my judgment on rating it. But I'm not going to say it's not fun. It's absolutely fun. To me, it's fun, and that's why you've always got your favourites. But that's why, yeah, that's why people get it misreading that if you rate a movie high, oh, that's your favourite. I was like, nope. Because that is why I said Jurassic World, Jurassic Park to me is the only the best one. I know you like number two, but to me, I ain't seen two in ages after learning more film wise. So I'm actually going to review that. So
Okay.
my Lost World, that might change now. You might like me on that. We'll soon see. Or it gets worse, but yeah, we'll take it in strides. The only reason why I like three was just to me it was more fun. The plot was dumb, but
Ah,
to me it was just more fun. And also, I like the two dinosaurs. They introduced the other dinosaur. I thought it was more fun.
that was the only good thing about it. Everything else, like I just like the parents were annoying as like you're on an
Oh
island
yeah,
with dinosaurs and
her
you are
voice.
screaming at every chance. Shut up!
Yeah, I know when the thing comes down playing the body, she screams. I know about her
Oh
voice. Yeah,
my gosh! Sorry, it just the
it's all right.
dream of
It's
the
all right.
dinosaurs. The dream of the dinosaurs talking to him. I
I
can't.
mean
I can't.
that or Rachel singing.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. I have to choose between the two of them. Oh God.
No, no. The next Hunger Games is Hamish story. So it's his movie. So basically, we forget Snow now, and we're going to focus about Hamish. Even though I liked his character, I don't think it was worthy for a new book and a new movie on. I just don't think it.
Hamish? Wait,
Yeah.
wait. The host, the TV host, yeah?
No. Sorry. He's the mentor they get in the original number one Hunger Games. Jennifer Lawrence and Peter. They both get the mentor straight away. The blonde, short.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
He's
yes,
got
yes,
his, he's got
yes.
his, she's doing I can't remember I think it's Susan Collins. I don't
Thank
know if
you,
I'm saying
Loki.
that, but she's doing the new movie, a new book she's making, and they're doing a new movie on him, the whole movie. And I don't think I liked him as a character. Not get me wrong, I just
Yeah,
don't think it's worthy of a movie. I just
Woody
don't think that.
Harrelson was really good
Oh yeah,
as Hamish.
he's really
Okay.
he's really good. I just don't know if he's. I don't. you can make that character more. It might surprise me. It might be a surprise. His character might be more interesting than Bloody Snow was, but that's because of the story of this film. But I just don't. To me, if you had said that, do you want to learn about Snow or do you want to learn about him? Everyone would have got. To
Snow,
me, I personally, I'd have gone.
snow,
Yeah, but
snow.
after this movie, it might be Hamish now. but but I just don't. I don't know if they're doing two movies because she's doing the book still. I like the thing is if you have you, as you I've got the book. But I've got the book. But if you noticed on the Songbird, the book's more massive than the Hunger Games.
Mm.
It's way more massive, and that just proves it more that it should have been split up. Because that's why it was overlonged. It was the runtime was overlonged.
Exactly.
The third act was just it was just shit. I just like it
Eh,
was just I'll call it the Eminem time bit with wanna be Jennifer Lawrence more as I call it, but I know I hate it. But because he literally shaved his head and I was laughing, and then actually when I was doing writing on it, doing my points because I always go into it more. I like to dive into movies. I literally in the third act I was drawing like I was just drawing in the end. I was just mucking around. I was drawing literally like houses and the clans. That's how much I got dull in that part. I was,
I feel like you know what's so funny. I feel like when we both watched this movie
mm,
while we were rewatching it,
yeah,
we were both blaming the other person.
yeah.
I feel like you were going, Lisa, and I'm going, she's singing again, Danny.
Well,
It's
I'm
not,
blaming everyone
her
who made this
character
film.
was so obnoxious. Like it was, her character was not likable either. She
Oh
was
my
so
god,
obnoxious.
it, it
My
I
God.
wanted her to die.
Oh,
I wanted her to die. Like I literally said in my take, I said, the film was emotionally impactful, soulless, and unimpressive compared to the other films like Hunger Games. And the build up, as I said, the tools, it was just flat. It was just flat to me on both, even the arena. It was some glimpse in the arena compared to the beginning, but it was just flat all round. And the only aspects, as I said, I liked it. But to me, I said it felt like watching Saw in real life. I thought I was in the Hunger Games myself watching it. That's literally what I put on it. And I knew if Luke watched that, he'll like that if he didn't like it, because I know he likes roasting them. But yeah, but I felt literally in the Hunger Games myself watching that. I think the second time I still didn't like the pace more as well, but I just didn't like they split it in parts, but not the actual movie itself that should be split, as we said before. But
yes.
they
Part
just
one,
went part
movie
one,
one,
part
part
two,
two, movie.
yeah.
It was
And then the first
I
time I'd have split it up. I literally no joking. I literally watched part one day, part two the second day, and part three the third day. I could not sit through it. I don't know how you can go to cinema. I could not physically do it. I literally got out. I literally was like, should I go on antidepressant halfway through the movie? Like,
I
I
had
was
my
like,
I had my sister with me. She was supporting me. Lovely says
okay,
I would rather watch so many other characters. Even Finch, I believe is his name. He was in both worlds and knew the capital secret. That would have been more interesting.
true, yeah.
So
There was so many ideas and the execution was terrible. That's basically it. It was the themes. They had so many ideas, so much stuff, and it just got mismatched. It was like okay, I picked something and then they did it, but they just didn't execute it well. But as I said before, I did like the cinematography. I did like the production. I thought they were the best aspects of the whole film, pretty much for me, because I thought they added to it. While the problem I think is, which I've noticed when I watched it the second time, and I knew it a bit more first, but I focused it more this time because
mhm.
sometimes you do have to watch more. Because as films like this, we always break down, like watch a whole movie, focus on one part, and then do it again. We have to watch films many times. People are saying that. But I did. What is? Oh, is it? They used most because you know camera work, but they used close up in this film so much, which I thought was brilliant to show emotional. Because you know, close up's the best
Yeah,
shot to show emotional scenes.
yeah.
But my biggest problem with it is this: they did it brilliant. This was the most movie they used close-ups compared to Hunger Games. It was the most ever, and so they're trying to build make this one the most emotional one out of all of them. But the problem is this: she can't act. I don't care. Her acting was terrible. So because you're doing a close-up and she's doing facial expression, it didn't work with it. And then plus with this other accent and all that, you're highlighting brilliancy, but she ain't portraying brilliancy. So it's not really the cinematography fault, but it's more a direction fault because of the cast you picked for it, and it didn't display well. So it did knock me aback, but it's not the cinematography fault. it's because of the acting fault. To me, was forceful, but they did do more, and then the chemistry weren't there as well. So you're building more emotional home games out of all of them. Okay, that's their goal. That's their goal. They're trying to do
Yeah.
because you're using more close-ups, and yet I'd rather had that in home in Catching Fire. If that was Catching Fire with Jennifer Lawrence, might have cried. I don't know because she was more acting wise. To
Yes.
me, well, as I said, to me, I think Jennifer. If without Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games, I think it would have been lower for me on score wise. I
Mm.
just, I just think that because that's what I think. To me, that's the movie that made her. I feel like.
Well, I feel like Rachel Zegler, I feel like Lucy, for Lucy Gray,
Mm.
if they had for this movie, even though maybe the book is different,
Yeah, yeah.
if they had removed that accent, if they had
Oh, that accent though.
yeah, if they had scaled her character back a little bit, like so you still
But
have the aggressiveness that
you can have all that. It was just forceful on the screen and captured
yes.
in the camera. It's just forceful acting. It's
It's
just
the,
like
and then oh
it's
my
like
god, and when she gets up, starts singing, and she walks over to the microphone, I'm like,
oh
ah,
my god! Straight at the
oh
start, tempo.
my god,
I love that because, funny enough, the second watch it, I knew it, literally as soon as it started and it went to her like it goes to the District 12, shout away, don't it? And then she comes up and she puts the snake in the daughter, the mayor daughter one, puts snake, and then she goes up.
which I liked. I like that. I
I
like
like
that.
that, but yeah, I like it because she's
That was see. That's the
that.
problem. That's the
Yeah,
problem. That right there was enough to
that.
show you that
Yeah,
I'm nothing to be played with. You
yeah,
didn't need all the
yeah.
extra stuff. You did it with the
Like
action.
Jennifer Lawrence with the to me it was like Jennifer Lawrence when she volunteered for a sister,
Yes,
emotional, helpful. It wasn't it wasn't as good as that because it was just small to me scene, but it was still impactful to know like,
yes,
oh, she ain't gonna take no shit in this film.
yes,
I don't give a fuck who you are, pretty much. That's basically it.
yeah,
And also it's a mere daughter, so like, oh, she really don't care because that guy can like whack
yeah,
her one. So I was like, okay, I was like, okay, but she ain't spoken yet. And then she goes up the stage, and I was like, they don't do. I take it they didn't do the ticket thing. That one invented then.
yeah.
They do the names. I don't know how. I didn't understand how they do. They just get a random person. They just take it or whatever because they didn't do any names. I don't know how she got called for the games itself, but take it. I don't
The
know what they
mayor's
did
daughter set
because
her
I
up.
know we see it in the first one, but we didn't
That
see it in the
was
beginning.
very clear. The mayor's daughter
Yeah. So
set her up.
so she got it, and then also you saw the mayor daughter also in the scene. You see, she's the only one in the nice clothes because, of course, she's in it spot because her father's the mayor, so she's never been in anything bad. She can wear the nice dress, not
Yes,
Lucy. She can because it fits the character, because what you're trying to portray. Because she should be not rich, but she should be well off because the dad's the mayor, and he's got everyone in the pocket.
yeah,
Basically, it. And then she gets up on there and then she's just sing. She says, I think she says something, and then she sings, and I was laughing to myself. I was like, "Am I evil?" And that's when, and the next minute she goes, and then that's when she goes close to the mic, and I was rolling up. I was like, "It's a fair there," but it was just so it was lackluster musical performance. Not see, and the singing they did use auto tune. It's obvious, it's ultimately auto tune, but see, I believe I don't know who said it. What one said it on? I can't remember who director said it, but there's a right time when to add music, just soundtrack or music in a background scene. But it's easy to find a. It's easy to add multiple scenes with music. It's harder to find when not to add it. And that is a brilliant quote to me because there was, as you said, there's so many songs weren't needed. It weren't needed. It didn't flow well. It had nothing to the scene, so it just hurts the experience. And then furthermore, because I didn't like the story, I know you might like more of the stuff from me, but because I've got already hurt from that experience, and then I don't like the next experience, it's going to be a worse, more film to me because it's just getting more worse, badder experience from me, isn't it? So it's just going to get worse for me. And then when it came out part one, every 30 minutes felt like an hour, and that was my problem. That's why I was asked. And then part three weren't even needed. Part three was like maybe part three was their Hunger Games part. It was the second movie we wanted to get, but it was not good. That could be a split movie if you want to cast it, but it was just I can't hide behind how many flaws there is in the film, and I didn't like any of the acting. See, Snow was fine. If I had to say anything, Snow, Pete, and Doctor. But to me, I expect them to be subpar acting or above them because they're well experienced. I expect that. I don't, and I know, and also I expected more from her as well because she has done theatre work.
yeah,
Lucy has,
yeah.
and theatre's the best thing. As I was looking for students for my film and stuff like, and I always go theatre because theatre to me is the best way to get people as well. So
Well,
she should be more
have
useful
you
as
seen her?
expressions.
Have you seen her in other things?
No, because I watched this and I didn't want to.
I
I know
think
she's in Snow White. I know she. The thing is, I know it got all backlash for her to be in Snow White. I know why, and all that stuff. And that's why I'm waiting for Luke to hate on that because I know why he'll do that. But she got massive backlash. But I understand Snow White why, because I think it was really weren't going to be divorced and stuff like that, and I know what that means. Because we're in woke period as they call it now. But don't get me started on woke stuff.
I won't. I won't. And okay, the whole thing with Snow White, that has nothing to do with how I feel about her character in this movie. Like it's her character,
Yeah,
but it's her character that I did not like. I
yeah,
didn't like the dialogue.
yeah.
I didn't like her demeanor. I didn't like
No.
her costume design, like wardrobe. I felt like they missed all the opportunities
Yeah.
to make her endearing, make her down to earth,
And
make
also
it
you
make
have to
sense.
make, and also I would have focused more on that as a director as a direction because she's the key selling point with him, because
Yeah,
she's the main lead with him.
yeah,
Them two are the main lead out of all this movie, no matter what the others are, because they're just background. Even though they've got important characters, they've important
yeah,
scenes, but they're background characters overall. I feel like she's more on the screen, more. It's her movie. That's it's not. To me, it feels like it's her movie because now I understand it because it's his love story, pretty much. Even though he's twisted with it, but it was. If you, I just, it was just her. It's just her. It's just like she probably go, oh, we're attacking her so much, but but I just, yeah, it's just, and the thing is, what makes it more hurting, you saw potential in the character. And that's the problem.
yeah,
Because as you said, you saw she could have been Jennifer Lawrence and stuff like that, but it was not displayed right. And then we saw glimpses as I said at the beginning, as we just said
yeah,
now, as we talked about being evil and like, oh, okay, she ain't gonna take no shit from anyone. She's gonna stand up for herself. Okay, cool, I like that. She's gonna have a fight, so that's good. Fight, fight capital like they do, and all that. And then it's to me, she just as a story, everything else, but it just gets weaker from her point of view, pretty much to me. And she gets help, like she got more help than Jennifer Lawrence did,
yeah,
pretty much. I
yeah,
know because the tribute stuff, because if we count the water stuff, I know they didn't get it because the speed of the drones, right? But without the poison, one wouldn't die. But I know it weren't really needed. But and that's my big problem. The big problem is why I didn't like the arena as well. So the worst and best stuff happened in the arena for me, which is funny. But it was that she could have died. She could have died easily. So many options with the ginger girl, and also if you're doing I can't remember her name now. I was going to say ginger girl, but as you can see, as you know, she was the main leader, like the other guy was in Hunger
yeah,
Games, the first one. She was the one. She was angry from the start, from the get go. She's out for blood. She's gonna murder you. And she says that even to the boy when he tries to get the other one out at night time because he wants to heal everyone, his friend. And he says, "I'm coming for your girl, Lucy."
yeah,
And all that. So you know she's gunning for her and all that. So she's gonna focus on her. She wants to kill and all that. And there's many opportunities because she's quick and everything's acting quick. The action's quick. Like, she's gonna. There was many options with the snake one. The snake one was the obvious. Like they all just suddenly watched. Like she could have threw the
yeah.
spear. She could have killed it. She could have died. And yes, I did want her to die because of her. But that's that. But she could have died so obviously, realistically.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think even if she died, I wouldn't care because I didn't care for reacting. But I don't know if it might have made it better. I don't know because it might. Because then, if she died, technically speaking, in arena, it would have wrapped up that bit, and then he could have gone to PDP and done the dialogue and talked to him about snow's all land on top, the snow's